Hello, everyone. Say anything to anybody?
Hello.
Hello. All right, Papantla. Quite some etchings in the wall there. Carvings. Makes sense since El Tajin is only 5 miles from here. So I am on the way to a gas station where I'll find auto buses to El Tajin. They said a taxi would take, every time they tell you how much a taxi should cost, you know, double it. If you look like white, Caucasian, unless you can speak fluent Spanish like my friend Marianne. She's Mexican, but they don't think she's Mexican when they look at her. And then she talks and they're like, uh-oh. So this is okay. The other thing is, first time anywhere, you think it's going to take an hour, probably take an hour and a half. Maybe. We'll see. Sometimes it goes smoothly. So, several people told me there are no auto buses here, only taxis. So I pulled out my map, very important to have a map. I walked out of the Centro where it was jammed with traffic onto the road that I thought would take me here. And a taxi passed by. First guy wanted 100. Second guy said 70, and I said, you know, that's close enough. So an old guy, so I gave him the 70 pesos. And I was talking to him, and he said the weekend is very, very crowded here, and Sundays are free for Mexicans, and so that's when they'll come. Hey, I have arrived. Now, it's going to be very difficult to explain this in just a couple minutes. This is the guy that... so I arrived. It's now online. It's all old information. So it's now 90 pesos to get in. The online, it says the tour guide is like 20 pesos, like a tip. They don't charge. So I get here and I'm like, hey, they have tour guides here? And the guy who I paid the ticket to, he goes, yeah, it's 75 pesos. I said, okay. I'm like, fine, 75. You know, it's probably, you know, going from 20 to 75. And voila, and so they call out I pay my ticket, they call out the tour guide, and so he introduces himself, and he's speaking in Spanish, and he asked me, do you want to do the tour in Spanish or English? And I said, well, I said we could start in Spanish, and if I don't understand something, I'll ask you in English. He goes, okay. So he goes, the cost is going to be at first he said 900. I think he said 900 pesos, and I was like, what? Because I was about to pull out like, oh, so I didn't hear what he said. I pulled out a 100 peso note because the guy told me 75. He goes, no, senor. He goes, I'll do it for 750 in Spanish. And I said, what? I said, no. I said, this guy just told me 75. He goes, oh, no. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll do it for 500 pesos. I said, no, I lied. I said, yeah, I can't afford that. I don't want to pay that. I mean, he goes, well, if you wait for other people to come, then you can split the cost. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll start the tour. And I'll start the tour. There it is. And if more people show up, then we'll talk about it. So he was telling me that, his tour lasts about an hour. You see, so I'll read it. Held in the northeast of Mesoamerica, actually in the states of Veracruz and Puebla, the strategic location at once commerce route between the Gulf of Mexico and the central region, the Arroyo Square. There it is in Spanish. And in the local language, I assume. All right, so we're off. So you walk up 100 meters or so, and then you'll see some monuments here. World Heritage Monuments, a sign. And I've noticed a couple of people in military gear here. So there it is. Wow, what a view, huh? I went to some areas like this down near Chetumal, and there was no one except for the monkeys and me. And today there's no one. I love it. You go to Palenque, or you go to Chichen Itza, or there's a couple others, and they're mobbed. Not fun at all. In fact, I climbed up one of those. I don't know if you can climb. There's a sign over there probably says no climbing. And there were so many people. One person above me started to fall, and they fell like 3 steps right into me, right at my knees. And you fall on that, so I fell and I landed on them, and that kept them. Muchas gracias. ¿Necesita corte acera? ¿Todos? Sí, todo. Wow. Muchas horas.
4 horas.
4.
Sí.
Excelente. ¿También en subir necesita corte? ¿En la Colima?
Sí.
Wow. Gracias. The first actual lawnmower. Surprised they're not out here with machetes. A Toro knockoff. Takes him 4 hours to cut it, he said. All of this. I can't even imagine. It's got to take more than 4 hours. But you think they'd give him like a nice big lawnmower. But at least he's, like I was saying, at least he's not out here with a machete or a weed whacker. That's like, look at this, guys. This is incredible. Because it's so open. You know, I was reading that that's one of the things that strikes you, obviously when it was founded, the Spanish found this in 1750 or 1780, I think, if I remember correctly. This is like, back then this would have been in the middle of nowhere. And he was out here, I might get this wrong, but I think he was out here looking for illegal tea or coffee plantations who weren't paying their taxes. Isn't that the way of the world with government? King needs his money. And he stumbled across this place. I don't know how you'd stumble across this place, but he did. And the rest is history. He yelled over to me, he goes, "That's not the best way to go." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "I thought I'd start with a circle." He goes, "No, come through here." I said, "Okay, I'll do it your way." Another guy in fatigues. So I read that, I think this was where they think this was the main market here, where all the people would set up their markets. And when this area declined, people are still using this area as a burial ground. And he confirmed I can't climb. And I didn't think so because it has, the string there. So I will do what he said. He said, just walk this way and walk around the circle. All right, signing off. Yeah, I was telling him about the place I went to near Chetumal that's similar to this. Different but similar. But you can climb, so I climbed to the very top of some of the taller ones. And I got up It was actually pretty precarious because they have these elaborate structures on top, and I climbed up to the very, well, I didn't go to the very top because you have to climb like a column, and I didn't trust it. And I took a photo. You could see for like 20 miles because it's such flat terrain, but down in Chetumal. Here, you wouldn't see as far because of the hills. Okay. And from what I've read and understand, they don't even know, they can't say for sure what the real history of this place is or any of the other places. They can only speculate because there's only these pictograms, carvings. They don't have writings, from what I understand. And so you have different quote-unquote scholars, I love it, who debate what all this stuff means. Oh, this one's worn out. Reminds me of the Great Wall of China, how worn out it is. So those people are from Utah, and the guy in the hat is married to a woman from Veracruz, and they came down here because her brother is retiring and they had a big retirement party. And they've been here a couple times, and he's acting like the tour guide. And he was telling me how he got down here. They came to Mexico City. They went into the new airport at Mexico City, I guess. And it sounds like it's quite large. I haven't been to the new airport, which is north of the city. So this looks like stadium seating, doesn't it? Stadium theater seating. Run the stairs. Get your exercise. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a little humid, but there's a breeze. So it's one of those cool, watery breezes. I was so busy talking, I don't know if I took a panoramic view. So I'll do it again, just in case I did not. Yeah, it's... oh, look at that structure. Holy cow. Well, I think I'll be tall enough to look inside there. I don't know if it's some sort of court. Oh, I thought it sunk down. Oh, it's grown in. But I'm going this way. That girl was asking me where I was from, and so I asked her what this, she said this was a Greco. And I'll have to look up that word. I don't remember what that is. And she said this was the end of the line right here. So I'll walk to the, that's the other nice thing about these places. Is you get out and you get some walking. Prohibited El Paso. Do not pass. No trespassing, in other words. Yeah, the stonework from a distance looks impressive, but you get up close. Now, I don't mean to sound real picky here because it was 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. But, you know, considering they didn't have really tools, it's impressive, but obviously crude in some ways. This is what it would have looked like when that guy from found it through this. Look at how big it is. You can't tell how big it is from the front because it's all wooded in. What I just scanned across a minute ago was the playing field and the stadium. That's what the two people in those fatigues told me. Because I said to them, I said, is this the stadium here? They said no, and they pointed behind me. I said, oh, this must be the theater then. They're like, yes, yes. I said, oh, okay. So that's the stadium right here. Now, if I remember correctly, it said online about 20,000 people lived here, which is a small town. Here's the main pyramid there, right behind the hill. And on this one, I don't see any basketball hoops on the side sticking out like you do on others, in what they call the ball courts. This looks like just maybe a soccer field, huh? Oops. Yep. Yeah, man's been around a little while. Looks like this one might have had a top that maybe people took the stones for other things or just decayed. Like I said, this is what the Great Wall will look like in many sections. You can see it in the video where it just deteriorates and turns into a pile of stone. So the path was closed. I don't know if it's just today or if it's closed permanently. I read online that, see up on the top, that they close, if they're understaffed, they close certain sections. It's an intricate design on the outside there, on the panels. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Nothing sticking out. That has mortar. Those don't. Wow, look at how square those are. Wow. This one on my right here. Steps to heaven. Well, I am sure these were used. Maybe they put flowers in there or sacrifices. Maybe heads. I don't know. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of ruins. Oh, there's that blue butterfly. Oh, he's beautiful. Look at him. Now, I don't know if any of these are hollow or if they're just built on mounds of dirt. there's something under that hill. Because that's what these things look like when they're not excavated. They just look like mounds of dirt. Or that. Still going. Well, here come the guys with the weed whackers. They must go up on the hills. I was thinking, today's Monday. They should really cut on like Thursday or Friday before the crowds come, instead of cutting on Monday after it's all been trampled. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so I am back to the beginning. It took me over an hour and a half to do the loop at a leisurely pace. I pretty much covered every area that I could get to. A lot of areas are cordoned off like this, so they wouldn't let you to go up to see certain areas. And I think it's part of luck. You know, you might get here and they might be working on something, they might not have enough staff and they'll close an area off. himself a sign of the cross before he'd started. Always got to make sure. Live long and prosper.